What is going on, guys? This is B-Rod from Inside the Locker Room. We're here with some special guests. We got MJ and Tahmeer from Inside the Red Zone with, of course, MJ and Tahmeer. What's going on, guys?
How you
What's up?
doing?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yo, we had week 17 and week 18 wrap up. The regular season is done. It's finished. Guys, we had some
Unfortunately,
crazy games over the week. We had Saturday matchups, Saturday doubleheaders, some movies out there. I mean, last week we had Seattle and the Rams face off. That was a big game. This week we had various, division deciding games. Bucks and the Panthers, and then we also had the Steelers and the Ravens, of course, last night with Aaron Rodgers taking the Steelers to the playoffs, proving all the doubters wrong. I'm gonna start off with that game first because it's just fresh off the mind. The Steelers and the Ravens, guys. Yo, Tyler Loop misses the game-winning kick wide right. What was y'all's first reaction to that game?
He's
to
banned
that
in the city of
madness?
Baltimore. He can't go
Yo,
back.
Tyler Loop is banned. No, yo, chill,
no,
chill.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But
Yo,
nah,
Tahmeer,
for real, I
chill.
was like, nah, that was crazy. I don't know. That was a crazy thing.
I mean, we saw Mike Tomlin not take the 3 points right before halftime. I don't know if you guys remember. It was 10-3. They decided not to go for the 3. They do not even get 7. They get stopped on 4th down.
They got
Yeah.
stopped at the line of scrimmage. Literally.
And then they had the ball they received the ball in the second half, and then, it was just from there it was a different game. And also, and in my opinion, as soon as Kyle Hamilton went out, and I forget the other secondary player that also went out that collided
I know what you're
with
talking
safety
about.
Kyle Hamilton, but as soon as he was out, you could just tell that the defense played completely different. The Steelers' offense, it was also completely different without DK Metcalf, so we saw Aaron struggling almost all night, kind of just to move the ball, but in that instance, when Kyle Hamilton went out with that injury, that head injury that he had, I think that was the game changer for me. MJ, what'd you think of this Baltimore and this Steelers
Honest,
bop here?
I would be really honest about and going into Tyler Loop. And he's a rookie. I know that Baltimore fans need somebody to point at when it comes to this. They need somebody to blame when it comes to this. We can blame Tyler Loop for this. We can. However, though, we got to understand he's a rookie. And even the 2 plays before that, why would you take a kneel setting your kicker up in terrible formation, especially with the wind as well? The wind played a huge factor in last night's game as well. So you can't just set an RPO for either Derrick Henry or Lamar to either run up the middle or get outside. And mind you, you have 2 timeouts. So it's not like you don't have time on your side. Time is on your side. Plus, you have timeouts. That being said, I am not going to lie to you, in that opening possession with Lamar, where they went for it on 4th down and converted, not only that, but getting a touchdown, I'm like, this is definitely not going to be one of them 2010s games. This is not going to be a low-scoring game because we all know Lamar is not healthy, and he's playing off his injured hamstring the back end of the season.
His back, yeah.
Exact, and his back as well. So we know Lamar is not healthy. And once again, like I said, well, I didn't say this previously, but I'm saying this now. It came down to play calling. That's all it was. It just came down to play calling. And my personal opinion, like I told several folk in my life, I think NFC North is not making it far in the playoffs. I think Pittsburgh is one and done against the Houston Texans. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, we'll get to the playoffs in a second. You mentioned play calling too. I mean, I'll start with the Ravens again real quick. That first possession when Lamar, dropped that beautiful pass to Zay Flowers, I was like, oh my goodness, Zay Flowers finally gets into the end zone, and he had 2 touchdowns on the day. So, you can't put all the blame on Lamar. In my
I
opinion,
don't put no blame on Lamar.
in my opinion, most of this goes on Harbaugh. But also on the Steelers side of things, you saw things getting a little interesting, especially towards the end of the game. They burned, timeouts that could have potentially been precious at the end of the game, and you saw Aaron Rodgers near the end zone, eventually like switch out helmets, talking to the sideline to Arthur Smith, talking like, I can't hear you guys. I can't hear the play call. So that was another crazy moment in terms of, the coaching battle of John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. Tahmeer, I'm going to ask you this to sort of wrap up this Baltimore Steelers talk. Do you think I feel like both of these coaches still in question even after this game? Who do you think is more likely to be released of their head coaching duties? Do you think both of these teams consider doing that? I know Pittsburgh is, riding hot into the playoffs right now with Aaron Rodgers, but say they get blown out by Houston first game. What's going through your head?
I'm thinking John Harbaugh is going to be a college coach next year. There's no way he's in the NFL next year.
So flip
If
flop with
this,
his brother.
yeah, he would. But if the Steelers do get blown out, obviously Mike Tomlin is going, and him laughing through me
I'm
off. But
sorry.
yeah,
I'm
Mike.
sorry.
If the
That's fine.
Steelers do get blown out, Mike Tomlin is gone. I still think he should be going anyways. It's just we've seen a steady decline in his coaching decisions over the last few years, so I think he has to go regardless of what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah, and like no matter what, I mean, Aaron Rodgers certainly proved myself wrong. A couple other guys on the pod as well. We weren't that far off in terms of the Steelers' record. I believe they finished with 10 wins on the year, just barely. But that's one less win than 9-8. So does
And
Mike
honestly,
Tomlin? Yeah. Oh, go ahead,
and
MJ.
my fault. And honestly, as well, like hasn't that been Mike Tomlin's method or motto for the past 10 years? Because I could list off they've been having winning seasons. Lost AFC Championship, Brady get blown out in the wild card game a few years ago against the Cleveland, a divisional rival, and they didn't even lose to Cleveland. They lost to themselves in that game because they were down 24 points in the first half of that game. You go back, he lost wild card round, lost divisional round. So it's not like, and yeah, granted he won a Super Bowl, but that was Bill Cowher's team he won the Super Bowl with. So honestly, this all goes back to Mike Tomlin because honestly, I'm not saying that Mike Tomlin is a bum of a coach. I'm not saying he's a scrub, but I think times have changed in a sense. Whereas I think the culture of Pittsburgh needs a new head coach. I'm not saying he's a bad one, and especially for John Harbaugh. That John Harbaugh switch kind of caught me off guard. That's why I was laughing because I love how Jim Harbaugh is of the 49ers, and you just say John Harbaugh.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. They would basically just flip flop roles at that point.
That'll be crazy if that were to happen. But same thing with John Harbaugh as well. Honestly, like you have a 2-time MVP in Lamar. You have a future Hall of Famer running back in Derrick Henry. You have two great tight end duos in Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. You have a top 10 defense when healthy. You have all these things, but it seems like you just can't get over the hump. It's just like something you just can't get over that hump. I don't know if it's a change in play calling that changes towards the beginning of the season and towards the end of the season, but something needs to change in both franchises, and respectfully, it needs to change within the AFC North. And we saw that today with Kevin Stefanski being released today. Unfortunately, Zach Taylor is being remained in his position as of now. He's being held at his position of head coach of the Bengals. But I firmly see a change that needs to happen. If Mike Tomlin doesn't do a deep playoff run this year, I need to see a change.
Nah, that's completely understandable. I definitely know that the Steelheart City, is definitely feeling that. I mean, even with Arthur Smith there at OC, they didn't really know how that was gonna go. But last game we saw Aaron Rodgers checking down to Kenneth Gainwell a bunch with DK out, of course, so that changed the game completely, like I just mentioned before. And real quick, right before I segue into this next huge divisional game we had. Another thing in the AFC North that was something to note of, we had Myles Garrett break the sack record, of course, passing TJ Watt and Michael Strahan. Record was 23, I believe, so got that. And yeah, so now we'll talk about the Bucks and Tampa Bay game. They defeated the Panthers, but ended up missing the playoffs due to the Falcons beating the Saints the following day. It was a Saturday game. Bryce Young actually outdueled Baker by a little bit, throwing for like one more touchdown and a little bit more yardage. But, this was a big game at the bank. Or actually, no, this was in Tampa. So, they split on the year still. But what was your guys' reaction to this duel? I'll start with Tahmeer first.
When I first saw the Panthers loss, I was thinking, no way, they just had the division in their hand and they dropped it. But then again, I saw it was like I think me and NJ was talking about it in our last pod. We were saying how interesting that division can get with the Panthers losing, because then it would be 3 teams at 8 and 9.
8 and 9. Mm-hmm.
If had the Falcons won, had the Falcons won,
had the Saints won.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, honestly, had the Saints won in. No, you're right. You're right, Smith. You're right.
I knew I wasn't.
You're right. Honestly, in the pick'ems, I had the Bucks advancing. Whereas the Saints will win, but the Bucks will get in, because obviously you have think about the defense and the offense they have. You have Levante David. You got Vita Vea. You have Anton Winfield Jr. on that defense. On the offense, you have a stud of an O-line. You got Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, like arguably the best wide receiver room in the NFL.
You have arguably the best wide receiver room in the NFL. And on top of that, you have experience on your side. It's not like you don't have experience on your side. You have good veteran experience in Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, which unfortunately didn't reach 1K this year, but due to his injuries and everything outside of the field, he couldn't reach 1K this year, which is unfortunate. But he's still a first ballot Hall of Famer, as we know. So it's one of those things. Whereas I think this year, and we saw this in multiple games, whereas the Bucks just beat themselves, and they could have won the division easily. But going back to injuries, going back to all the flags that they've had on themselves this year, going back to all the holding calls, their offensive line realistically wasn't healthy until the end of the year. Even at the end of the year, they couldn't do anything because they lost 3 out of the last 4 games. So, yeah, granted, you finished the year strong. It was a losing season. I think that, what's the heck? Not Bruce Arians. I'm about to say Bruce Arians. Oh my gosh.
Is it O'Connell?
No. I'm talking about the Buccaneers head coach. The Buccaneers head coach.
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. I think Todd Bowles still keeps his job at the end of the year.
Interesting take.
But he needs to produce something next. I don't know if it's to strength and conditioning coach of the players, but you need, because we all saw the NFC being wide open, and we all saw the Buccaneers step up earlier in the season. We saw Egbuka, early front runner of offensive rookie of the year. We saw early onset Baker Mayfield having an MVP candidacy type of run. But then all that came crashing down with, like I said, injuries, outside the field mess, all that type of stuff. So, honestly, like I said, Todd Bowles ain't going nowhere. I think they need a deep playoff run next year in order to solidify that Todd Bowles is their long-term head coach. But if anything doesn't shake next year, and I don't want to, I'm gonna say an early onset divisional winner in the South. I'm gonna just put this out there: don't sleep on the Saints now. Don't sleep on the Saints.
Yeah, they accomplished a lot this year, considering, what we all thought of them at the start of the year. So props to New Orleans for sure, despite the loss to Atlanta this past week. But yeah, just to recap real quick with Carolina, I thought Bryce Young still had a good game. That was always going to be competitive in my eyes. And he is still, proving people wrong and keep on, basically keep on pounding. The Panthers are in the playoffs, so congrats to Carolina, congrats to Bryce Young, and also of Tet and the wide receiver room, of course. We saw Jalen Coker grab a huge touchdown in the end zone late in the game. So they, we'll get into the playoffs in a second, but they're actually rematching with the Rams. So that'll be interesting.
I can't wait for that.
That'll be very interesting.
That'll be a
as
good
the
game.
Panthers
I
beat them that
cannot wait for
last
that.
outing.
I
So
cannot wait for that. Oh my
the Rams would
gosh.
be home, of course. So that would be
No,
on their side. But
it's Carolina's
is
at
there
home.
is there really
I
any
think
home
Carolina's
field
home.
advantage in the Charger Stadium at SoFi? I don't really think there is. Yeah. Another thing that we had, kind of settle in other than the playoff seedings, with week 18, is the NFL draft order. And let me pull this up so you guys can see. This is the NFL draft order, ladies and gentlemen, and it is set. So we have the Raiders picking at 1. The Jets don't get the number 1 pick. But they're there at 2, with the Giants winning against the Cowboys, of course. Sorry, MJ. And yeah, we got the Giants to round out the top 5 there at number 5. And I want to ask you guys, just looking out at this order right here, draft is in a couple months. I'll be there. A couple other guys, of course. Uh, any one of you guys could grab this. What was your guys' first reaction seeing this, like these picks right here?
My first reaction was thank you, New York. Them being us helped so much. We got a better draft pick. If we won, I think we would have the 17th pick or something like that. So now that we got New York, now that New York beat us, I appreciate you. This is why we love New York.
So if anybody doesn't know, he's referring about the Cowboys. So the Cowboys are there at 12, and they have Green Bay's pick, of course, because of the Micah Parsons trade. So, a couple of teams here have multiple first-round draft picks, like the Jets and the Cowboys, of course. But MJ, what are you thinking? What's in that noggin of yours looking at this draft order for 2026?
Listen, all I gotta say to Samir is like, who's we? Who's
no,
we?
I know I'm messed up by saying we love New York. We hate New York.
So you got a tank and anti-tank here.
I'm for the tank. I appreciate New York and what they did, but never out my words will say thank you or I love you, New York. That will never come out my lips. It will never come out
that was treason by me. That was treason by me.
Oh yes, it will. Oh yes,
we'll
handle that later. We'll take care of that later. All's forgiven right now. Honestly, and people might disagree with me on this, and I told Ben this earlier. I think the Raiders are going to trade their pick. I think the Raiders, because realistically speaking,
that'd be interesting.
Realistically speaking, you paid Geno Smith all that money. Just for Pete Carroll to be released not too long ago, literally earlier this morning or earlier this afternoon, he got released by the Raiders. So honestly, I don't see the Raiders. I see the Raiders trading, and I don't see Fernando Mendoza going number 1. I know it sounds like, wait, why wouldn't he go number 1? But realistically, and me personally, and this is nothing towards Geno Smith. This is nothing towards you, Mr. Smith, sir. But I wouldn't want Fernando Mendoza under him for the next 2 to 3 years. And there's no disrespect. But like, I'm not saying that Geno Smith is a scrub. We've seen what he did with the Seahawks. You see what he's done there. But for me, I would rather him sit under a Patrick Mahomes type of quarterback. I would like to see a Steve Young, Joe Montana type of thing. Whereas a student is learning from the master, but honestly, Kansas City's not doing that, so we could wipe that out of our heads, obviously. Kansas City's not doing that. They got the quarterback, obviously. Especially because right now, rumors are saying Patrick Mahomes, already in rehab. So yeah, we'll see you in December. Not December. We'll see you in September, Patrick. We'll see you in December, not September. But I see Fernando Mendoza going top 5, obviously, if not top 3. But I don't see the Raiders picking him up. I don't see it.
So in that instance, who do you think would be trading up to number 1?
The only team I can logically think of at this current moment is the Jets. That's the only logical. That's the only logical
I would
team.
agree with that, because then, at this point, it would be the Cardinals and maybe the Browns if if they move on from actually they moved on from Stefanski early this morning. So
yes, sir.
I think Shedeur Sanders is the Browns franchise quarterback
of
the future, obviously. But I think the Cardinals would risk, the Mendoza sweepstakes for the Jets. And then obviously, the Raiders there at 1. What do they do with the Mendoza sweepstakes going on there? Tahmeer, what do you... wait, I already asked you that. Never mind. Yeah, this draft will be, interesting, and compared to last year's, the quarterback class is, a lot different. We got Dante Moore also out of Oregon. That's going to be interesting to see if he declares or if he stays another year. A lot of people were saying that, he could have pulled Eli Manning and avoid the Jets there. Number 2, say Mendoza goes number 1 to the Raiders. And if that's a lock, does Moore want to play for the New York Jets? So that's going to be interesting
And I will
to
say
look at.
this. The Jets are not trading their number 2 pick. They're going to be trading their number 16th pick.
I could see that as
They're
well.
trading their 16th pick. And I don't see Dante Moore going night 1. Because look at all those teams. Look at all the 32 teams in the National Football League. Do they need a quarterback? A lot of them, not really. The Panthers just found their franchise quarterback. Washington has Jaden Daniels. Arizona has Kyler Murray for God knows how long. Wait.
But I think the Jets do trade their. I think they trade either Breece Hall or Garrett Wilson in the 16th for that first.
Oh, they're trading. No, Breece Hall's gone.
Yeah, Breece Hall.
And add another weapon to.
I already said my sense about Breece Hall.
Add another word.
It's okay. He'd even play in the last game, of course.
Ben is not okay.
Because of knee soreness.
Ben is not okay. Ben is not okay.
Yeah, but I think that's what's going down. I really think it's going to be Garrett Wilson. They tank one more year.
G-Dub is a Jet for life.
You think he's staying as a Jet? I don't think so.
If that happens, I will be shocked. If that happens,
that's a Calvin Johnson all over again.
You guys think Garrett Wilson is out of New York?
Yes, no. Absolutely. I think this offseason, one of their stars.
I guess we're 50-50 on that.
One of them stars. I'm saying this about the Eagles too, but one of the stars is leaving this offseason. There's no way they all stay.
Breece Hall's gone. Like we all know, Breece Hall, even how he was acting, he wanted to go to Kansas City. But we all know. We all know.
Yeah,
Breece Hall's gone.
I think Braylon Allen for the Jets could embrace this running back 1 role when he comes back from injury next year. And I like Isaiah Davis. Give him a shot at the running back 2 role. See what he's got. But guys, for the last part of this video, and we're doing really good on time, so we could do either fast runoff, or I'm gonna do kind of like a speed round for my kind of takes here. But I got the playoff bracket here, and it is the official one.
Yeah, I got some takes. Let me go first. Hold on. I got some takes.
Let Tahmeer go first.
So wait. You said let Tahmeer go first?
All right, Tahmeer.
Tahmeer.
Yeah.
I want you. So let's go game by game here, right?
Okay.
So the Packers, they're traveling up to Lambeau. Who do you got? Actually, no, sorry. The Packers are going to Soldier Field. So who do you got in this one?
Green Bay is hurt. I feel like they lost a good amount of momentum. A couple weeks ago, I think they were fighting for the number 1 seed. Now they're the 7th seed. A lot of things have changed. They don't got Micah. And the Bears are hot. Yeah, they just came off a loss, but they are hot. They just dropped, 40-something points in that loss? They're scorching. I want Chicago in that game.
All right, so Chicago advances in that one. And then we have, the Eagles and the 49ers. 49ers traveling to the Link. Who you got in that one?
Oh, they're going to the Link?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Here's what I think about it. And this all biases to the side. This all Eagles hate to the side.
I know what he's going to say.
This all Eagles hate to the side. But I feel like I said this on the podcast too. The Niners are scary. You want to know why they're scary? Because they're not even healthy and they're performing the way they're performing. Yes, they just had a bad game against Seattle. What was it, Sunday or Thursday? But they're gonna obviously bounce back. We know the Niners are like the Chiefs. Once they get into the playoffs, they're scary no matter what position they're in. They got the experience, and I think they got the better quarterback. And that's clearly a good thing, because as we saw 2 weeks ago, who did they play? In Chicago, pick 6 first play of the game. Brock Purdy bounces back and makes all the right plays. A lot of people say Jalen Hurts wins when it matters. I guess. But can he win this game? I don't think so. So I want 49ers.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
This is clear.
And then we got, for the last game on this NFC side for the first round, we got Panthers, Rams. Who you got?
Wait, they go to TD?
It's the rematch. I believe
I think
so.
Yeah, they're going to M&T.
I
Yep.
think they're going to be at the bank since the Seahawks won the division.
Oh,
So
I don't think
yeah, they're
I
going
don't think the
back
Rams
to the
lose to this
bank.
team twice. I don't think they lose to this team twice. Nah.
You're
I'm
taking
going.
McVay and the Rams.
Yeah, I'm taking McVay and the Rams.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. So wait.
Oh.
I know what you guys want to go to first, but wait, let's go into the AFC side now. So Tahmeer, so you got your first round done with the NFC side. So now we have the New England Patriots led by Mike Vrabel and Drake May, and then we have the Chargers here. Who you like in this one? Foxborough would be the destination.
Chargers, mind you, Justin Herbert hasn't won a playoff game ever, but Drake May has never been in the playoffs. It does help that he has home field advantage. But as we saw, Drake May, how many teams he played over 500? It was 3. It was Buffalo twice, right?
Yep, and the Bucks.
And the Bucks. Well, the Bucks, the negative now. So I don't know. I feel like maybe Justin Herbert could pull something off. I think there's a possibility, but that's just a slight possibility. We're gonna go ahead and go New England. They're scorching hot. Drake May, he's coming off of
you had me in the first half there. You had me in the first half there, not gonna lie. All right, so then next we got, as I like to call him, Tom Petty. It's like Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars going up against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
I don't even gotta think about it.
Michael B. Jordan's best friend. Duval.
You going Duval?
Going Duval.
That defense is going to be finding a way to contain either James Cook or Josh Allen. It's probably going to be James Cook, and then who's Josh Allen going to throw to? Don't tell me he's going to throw to Keon Coleman.
All right. And then the last game here, we got Houston and Pitt. Who you got?
Houston. That defense.
All right.
They're going to.
And then now, so right here, we got some really interesting matchups now. So let's keep on going with the AFC side. So now we have Denver, who honestly barely escaped, their Week 18 matchup with the Los Angeles Chargers, even with their backups in the game. And then we have C.J. Stroud and arguably a top 3 defense in the league matching up against that. Denver would be home in this scenario because they are the 1 seed, of course. Mile High would be the destination in this one. Who you got?
Oh, this is exciting because me and MJ was just talking. If Denver and Houston link up, whoever wins that game is going to the Super Bowl. We just said that. And I've been saying this. Something is, I don't know, Houston, that defense. Denver's, it's 2 top 2 defenses linking up. I think Houston's defense is better. I think they got a better scheme going on. But it is in Mile High. You going to Denver and CJ Stroud, I think he's on the same boat as Justin Herbert. He did win 1 playoff game. He won 1, right? Denver is an extremely hard place to play. And mind you, they're coming off another road game in Pittsburgh. So it's back-to-back road games. I don't know.
Cross country too.
I think I got to go Denver.
All right, so we got Denver in that one. Houston eliminated.
It's going to be a close game.
Taking out Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Stroud versus Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be interesting. And then the other AFC divisional game we got here, according to you, we had the Patriots and the Jags. Who you got in that one?
Like it. I got Duval.
Interesting. So there's that AFC championship matchup right there. And then on the NFC side of the divisional round, we got Seahawks and the 49ers. That would be the 3rd time they would play this year. Of course, they split during the regular season. Seattle would be home, so 12th man would be on their side. Who would you have in this matchup?
Then they just beat San Fran in San Francisco.
Correct, sir.
And wait, aren't they up on San Fran? Isn't it like 2? Didn't they sweep San Fran this year? Or did San Fran
they split.
San Fran stole 1 in the 12th?
Yeah. Yeah, in the first week of the season, I believe.
Damn. Okay, hold on. Ooh, that's a good game. I gotta think about that more. Let's go to the Chicago.
Right, so you want to go to Bears Rams first? All right. So who do you like in that matchup? Matthew Stafford versus Caleb Williams. I believe the Bears would still be home in that case, right?
Yeah, they're still home.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like feel like Matt breaks down this game. It's gonna be weird, but I feel like the Rams still, you know how they barely lost to Atlanta a couple weeks ago, where when Puka did catch that football. We're not gonna get too much into it, but you see how they clawed their way back. I think it's going to be one of those games that's going to be low scoring to the last 3.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. And teams are going to start having a shootout in the playoffs. But I ultimately think the Rams win. Chicago's DB, I was about to say Puka. Devontae's obviously going to be back. Their DB core isn't going to be able to handle two. Well, hopefully if Puka stay healthy, 2 Hall of Fame receivers.
All right, and then now, are you ready now? You ready to give your pick for Seattle 49ers? Who you got in this one?
You see how the 12 came in versus the Rams and helped them win that game? It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a real close game, but I got Seattle.
Seattle is going to the NFC Championship to play the Rams. That would be something. That would be cinema, of course. And then we got the Broncos and the Jaguars. Tahmeer, what game you want to start with first?
Let's go with Duval and Denver.
Okay.
Denver, they're obviously not going far. They're staying in Mile High. Duval has to come to them.
I believe the Jaguars exposed their defense the last time they played, no?
Denver has had a couple games where their defense has got exposed. It was one against the Giants. And let me look this up. Let me go on Real Sports app. Not sponsored, but sponsors.
Because I have a feeling that these teams have played already this year.
Yes, they did. Week 16.
34 points on Denver. And it was in Mile High.
That's what I'm saying. So that's an interesting matchup there. So Tahmeer, now with that information, who would you have in this matchup? Denver would still be home at Mile High. It'd be the same.
Okay. Yeah. It's 2 inexperienced quarterbacks. It's gonna be a shootout. You know how many deep passes is gonna be going. Trevor Etienne?
Trevor Lawrence. Oh, Travis Etienne? Yeah.
Travis Etienne. Oh yeah, he's gonna have a field day. Parker Washington. We might see the revival of Jacoby Myers in this game. Who knows? But I do know this game, I don't think there's going to be a lot of defense played. So it's either going to be a shootout or it's going to be a Denver blowout. So we're going to go.
So you taking Duval?
I think we got to go with Denver to the most realistic option.
Ooh, okay. I see that. Sean Payton, would have the edge of, the coaching experience.
I think
first year head coach Liam Cohn. But so Tahmeer has Denver as his AFC representative for the Super Bowl. And now for the NFC Championship, the Seahawks and the Rams. Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford going at it for the 3rd time this season, but with Super Bowl freaking implications.
Let me tell you something, man. Sam Darnold just started winning big games this year. As we know, when he was with Minnesota, he couldn't win any big games. This team around him is special, but he doesn't have the experience that you would want to win an NFC Championship. You know who does, though? Matt Stafford. You know who has a Super Bowl ring? Matthew Stafford. That team isn't that much different from that Super Bowl team. I think LA wins, even in the 12th. They should have won, but their defense fell apart. I don't think that happens again.
That's a very good point. And now this Super Bowl right here, for all the marbles, 5 seed, number 5, the Rams versus the 1 seed, the Broncos. Who would you got winning in this Super Bowl matchup? And who's your Super Bowl MVP?
I think, I'm not going to lie, I think it's going to come down. It's going to come like one of those. What was that one Super Bowl? Oh, the Rams versus Patriots Super Bowl when it was like very low scoring. It was a defensive game. I think it's going to be one of those. As we know, the saying, defense does win the championship. And I think Patrick Surtain plays his heart out and shuts down either Puka, Devontae, maybe even both. They might have him on both. Who knows what they're going to do? And I think Riley Moss is going to be able to contain at least Devontae Adams to at least not let him open the doors up for Puka. I think Denver wins. And you know who I think my Super Bowl MVP is? Mr. Slenderman, PS2, Patrick Surtain. He's going to come down with a couple of clutch plays. And
Crazy take right there, in my opinion. Like,
or
not that it would be wrong, but that would be a crazy, Super Bowl
yeah,
MVP.
that's the
Obviously, quarterbacks usually win that award, but the Super Bowl chance for Tahmeer would be the Denver Broncos. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show y'all what I think is gonna go down. So, I think so. To start off right here, I think that Jordan Love is going to be the decider here. Obviously, for me, I think if Jordan Love plays, I think he's going to play. That's going to be huge for me. Obviously, we mentioned that the injuries have killed them all year with Tucker Kraft, with Micah Parsons. They were my Super Bowl pick before the year started, but I agree, guys. I think the Bears are just too hot right now. But I really wish Jordan Love was a little bit more healthy and, the rest of this Packers team. But, hopefully Matthew Golden could be a better receiver for him next year. Christian Watson had an amazing year. So just keep up that momentum on offense and just hope your defense stays healthier. But I would take the Bears in that one. I got a different opinion on you here. I think Jalen Hurts, and guys, this is the take that I honestly, this is why I wanted to make this video too. Guys, look at this playoff bracket. Or actually, so besides, ignore Aaron Rodgers on the AFC side, right? I'm not saying to ignore Aaron Rodgers because it is Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, mind you, and we haven't seen that in the last 5 years, so who knows? But other than Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts is the only other quarterback with a Super Bowl ring, and no matter what, that matters to me. And especially with home field advantage going to the link here, I think, California boys, the 49ers, I think they've been overrated all season. And them traveling to the link in a possibly snowy game, we could see a
Don't do
Saquon
it, Ben.
Barkley snowy
Don't do
game
it,
part
Ben.
2. Give me the
Ben,
Eagles.
don't do it, Ben. Don't do it.
So, yep, taking the Eagles over the 49ers. And now in this matchup, I agree, guys. I don't think that the Panthers would beat the Rams twice, so I got the Rams advancing in that one. So AFC, I'll rattle this off real quick. I didn't think the Chargers have much of a chance with anybody, to be quite honest. Just the fact that their offensive line is just, shriveled, and it's just a shame that Joel and Rashawn Slater are still not playing. But yeah, give me the Patriots in that one. Duval versus the Bills. Um, Jacksonville's home, correct?
Correct.
Give me Duval in that one.
Yeah.
I think that home field advantage is going to be huge for them. It's going to be beautiful weather over there probably too, but I think the Bills need to rework their wide receiver room still, like you guys mentioned with Mr. Keon Coleman and company, but I don't know. I think the Bills are just cursed with playoff runs, and even if Mahomes and Burrow and Lamar are not in this, run this year, I don't think Josh Allen is going to get it done. And possibly, Sean McDermott could be fired as well, because what else would they be, trying at this point? And yeah, and this Houston Aaron Rodgers matchup here, the Steelers, of course, DK Metcalf would be back. That's going to be a huge boost for Aaron Rodgers. This game's in Pittsburgh, but I just think the pass rush for Houston is going to be too much. I like Houston in that one. So this is how I have my divisional matchups set up. We have Seattle and the Rams up here, and we have Chicago Eagles. I'm gonna start with the NFC side first. So, Seattle and the Rams. I said Sam's. I'm crying. Seattle and the Rams. That'd be the third time they'd play. Just how Tamir just had it drawn up, but he had it drawn up where they would meet in the NFC Championship. I have them meeting in the divisional round already. So, I think Sam Darnold just has to prove that he can win a playoff game, but I just think he gets unlucky in that his first matchup is Matthew Stafford. I don't know. I feel like for the same reasons that Tamir gave for the Rams being in Seattle, I think that the defense tightens up and hopefully Devontae Adams is healthy enough. But say it is like last game and it's kind of a JSN versus Puka show, it could go down to the wire still. So give me the Rams, but people could be shocked this year, folks. I think the Seattle Seahawks could make it to the Super Bowl, and I think that Sam Darnold could very much bring them there. It's just a matter of fact is if he could just get over the hump of winning his first, playoff game.
And I don't mean to interrupt you, Ben.
Yeah, no, keep
but
going.
Audience, this is coming from a Jets fan. We have to understand how hard this is for Ben to say that. For him to say Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, if that does happen this year.
Maybe not winning, but I think he can take them there.
Going to the Super Bowl. So this is hard on him. This is hard on Ben, ladies and gentlemen. This is terribly hard on him.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Thank you for pointing that out. I have Sam Darnold's jersey. I went to his first home rookie game as a Jet, so huge ties to Sammy D for me. But this next NFC divisional matchup, I got the Eagles and the Bears. Guys, Caleb Williams versus this Eagles defense. I don't know how well that would go. I don't know. I just think the Eagles defense is just too overpowered, guys. We can't forget.
Ben, don't do it.
Ben, don't do it. They lost at home. The Chicago beat them. Chicago beat them at home.
At home.
Yeah.
By 2 scores.
They already played this year.
They're going to Soldier Field. They're going to Soldier Field. They're going to Soldier Field.
And they're in Soldier Field. And Chicago clearly can't. Not Chicago. Philly clearly can't sweep nobody, as we saw this year with the NFC East, unless you're Washington.
Ben.
I think Ben Johnson is a better coach than Sirianni. So especially
Good
this
choice.
year. So give me the Bears.
Good
the Bears in the NFC Championship. I like that matchup for my NFC Championship actually. So on the AFC side of things, we got Denver and Houston. I honestly think Denver are frauds. I think Houston's defense has been top 3 all year, like I mentioned before. Derek Stingley's back healthy again. Will Anderson Jr. is a top 5. He's very good defensive lineman in this league, and he's not even 5 years into his career. I don't think so. Denver's defense is also very, very good also, but I think in this quarterback matchup of CJ Stroud and, Bo Nix, I think Houston takes this one. You guys mentioned how hard it is to play in Mile High, but I think CJ Stroud is kind of used to playing in those kind of environments. He did go to Ohio State, of course. And also we saw, Houston travel to Kansas City this year, and they didn't win, but they played them to the wire.
They did win.
I just think they did win. Okay, I think weather is not too much of a problem for the CJ Stroud.
I gotta say, I'm not even gonna lie. If I didn't choose them, I really have been saying I got Houston as a dark horse Super Bowl candidate. That defense has been the best I've seen in a long time, and I think they could make something happen just based off that defense.
All right, and then now for my next AFC divisional matchup, I got Duval Jaguars traveling to Foxborough. I think this will be a very interesting matchup, but I think the most interesting thing about this is, the head coaching matchups. And I think if Travis Hunter was playing, I think this game would go a little bit different because, considering what the Jaguars have accomplished this year without their first round draft pick has been amazing. But Mike Vrabel versus Liam Cohen, I think Mike Vrabel takes this cake easily in terms of the head coaching matchup, and he just outduels him in that aspect. And here are my AFC and NFC championship matchups. I got the Patriots and the Texans on the AFC side of things, and I got the Bears and the Rams on the NFC side of things. And guys, this is a quick one for me, honestly, and it's going to be just like how I talked about the last 2 games. You guys are going to hate me so much because of this matchup, but Sean McVay is a better coach than Ben Johnson. Mike Vrabel is more experienced. We have the 2 most experienced coaches in the Super Bowl, and we get a repeat of Rams Patriots.
Round 3?
Let me have Matthew Stafford get a 2nd ring. The Rams are your Super Bowl champions. That is how I'm gonna do it. I don't think I think Drake May being in the Super Bowl for his first playoff run would be insane. But I think that Patriots little dark magic helps him get there. And I think Houston could that could go either way. But I just think I think the thing that we have to think about in these playoffs is that, we see a lot of these teams, kind of rising that haven't been there before or haven't been there in a while. I just think it's going to come down to experience and, of course, the quarterback play. So, as far as things for people to watch out for, as far as like things that people are not talking about enough, I got maybe Aaron Rodgers making one last ride into the sunset. Potentially, maybe that could happen. Maybe they upset the Texans, and then maybe they upset the Patriots or something crazy like that, and they get into the AFC Championship. But I think the most realistic kind of hot take for me is that I don't know. Could we see the Eagles in the NFC Championship again?
No, I
You
can't do it
guys,
again. I
I
can't do
don't
it again,
know.
bro. I
I don't
can't
It's
do
know,
it
not
but
again.
happening.
guys, I'm just saying
It can't
Jalen
happen again.
Hurts is one of 3 QBs in the playoffs to have
I
a
can't
ring.
do it again, man.
And
I did
Jalen
it
Hurts is
last year.
one of the one
That's
QBs I've seen throw
that's
4
telling.
picks. So
I can't. Get him, Tahmeer. Get him.
No. All right, and then MJ, do you want to take us home? Do you want to give us
Yes,
your
sir.
playoffs here?
All right. So before we get into it, I just want to say to the audience as well, the one thing I love about these playoffs this year is the potential storylines that are involved. I love the fact that we know on the NFC side, we have a divisional rivalry. We have a divisional rivalry this coming weekend. We have a playoff / in-season rivalry in the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers, in which they've met up in the NFC Championship countless times. They've met up in the playoffs countless times, and we saw them in the regular season multiple times, putting on shows for us. And we don't even forget, we've seen the Carolina Panthers and the Rams this past season. So, and we have future stars on the AFC side. So I just want to say we are in for, no matter how this goes, we're in for a feast in January, ladies and gentlemen. We are in for a feast.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I
I can't
agree.
wait for playoff time. It's finally here. So we'll start with the AFC side for you, MJ.
Yep.
First game here, Foxborough. Who you got?
Patriots easily.
Yeah,
That's not even
I
fair.
think
This round crowd
I,
gonna go quick. It's
I
gonna go quick.
all right. So this next one here, Jaguars Bills.
This is going to be one of the two matchups I've heavily contemplated on. Whereas, if Josh Allen doesn't do it this year, it's never going to happen. If he does not do it this year, this specific year where Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes are not in the playoffs themselves, I would say this is his year. But as we've seen, we've just got nothing but inconsistency. Me and Tahmeer even talked about the Philadelphia and the Buffalo game. Did Buffalo lose that game offensively, or did the Philadelphia Eagles defense just play good? I believe that the Buffalo Bills offense have struggles, and I believe their offensive struggles are going to continue throughout the time that they're in the playoffs. Give me Duval.
Wow. All right, and then we got Aaron Rodgers versus CJ Stroud.
Aaron Rodgers is hurt still. That non-throwing hand, him still killing him still. And if Aaron Rodgers was healthy, I would have said Aaron Rodgers all day, because me and Tahmeer understand what playoff Rodgers can do to a team and how much they can traumatize fans. But Aaron Rodgers is too hurt. They barely clawed, scratched into the playoffs. Give me Houston in that bad defense.
All right, cool. So we got pretty much the same AFC divisional matchup. So let's go on the NFC side now. We got Bears and Pack.
Honestly, Ben, and I heard your cry, and I heard your plea. This is Jordan Love's year. This is Jordan Love's year.
I wanted to still take them, even with Jordan Love playing, but I just think traveling to Soldier.
We heard you, Ben. We heard you. That's why we're taking the Bears. This is a mercy kill. This is a mercy kill. Now this game.
Ooh, Eagles 49ers now. Oh, he got the Michael Irvin belt out.
Now, this is going to be a representation of what happens.
Yo.
Jalen, they not tell you not to throw 4 picks. Jalen.
Yo, wait. What? You got the 49ers?
Did I tell you that you are a terrible game manager, huh? AJ.
Yo,
when you gonna stop complaining? Devontae, we ain't gonna stop catching over 30-yard passes.
You know who MJ
Stop
is
it.
taking in this one.
Stop it.
I think.
Give me San Fran.
So why do you
Tired
have
of this.
Why do you got the 49ers?
I got the 49ers because they've convinced me offensively that even though that divisional game against San Fran, that they have a good offensive team, whether without being injured or not being injured. They have a good offensive line. They have a good offensive line. And mind you, how are we going to forget about that bad man CMC? I feel as though nobody has really brought up.
Healthy.
He's been healthy all year long. I feel like nobody has talked about that.
And he has a crazy streak as well. I think it ended last game, but he had like a touchdown
every game.
One, like at least for like a month straight.
Every game for the month of the month of December, he's had a tutty. That's what I'm saying. And I feel as though everybody has forgotten about CMC just because of the injuries. CMC is still that guy. CMC can still run over your defense, and I feel as though that's what's going to be their kryptonite. And even then, all this game is a battle of great game managers. That's all it is. We've called Brock Purdy I think he leveled up to an elite game manager, but Jalen Hurts is still a game manager. That's all it is. Now, Jalen Hurts wants to show up and throw 4 tutties and prove me wrong. That's fine. Prove me wrong. But until that does happen, San Fran. Guts me, but San Fran.
All right. And then for the last matchup here in the NFC first round of playoffs, we got, Rams traveling to the bank.
Honestly, I think this is going to be closer than what people think it to be. This is going to be way closer than people think. I honestly believe LA pulls out the win, and I'm even give the score. It's gonna be 24-22 Rams.
Okay, respectable. All right, and then now your divisional rounds are set. Which game do you want to start with?
Let's start with the AFC side. Let's start there.
All right. So we got Houston traveling to Mile High. So we all got the Patriots beating the Chargers, all three of us basically. So do with that information what you will. But MJ, who you got in this one?
Honestly, as a person that loves defensive games, I love. Yeah, you can throw 400 yards all you want, but when it comes to a great defensive game, oh my gosh, it comes down to the basics. When it comes to that little games, it comes down to basic solo tackling, basic blocking. It comes down to the basics for these games, and that's what that game is going to be. But on the offensive side, CJ Stroud has more experience. I think DeMeco Ryans is a leader among men. I think the Houston Texans get it done in Denver.
All right,
give me Houston.
We agree with that one.
Give me Houston.
And then we got the Mike Vrabel, Liam Cohen matchup that I mentioned before for the other side of the AFC divisional. Who do you got in this one? Duval traveling to Foxborough.
Shout out my homeboy Jaren. I'm always going to shout him out when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I look at this game as the game that we saw Trevor Lawrence participating in, maybe coming out of the draft, 2 years out of the draft. Call me a liar. I think this is Trevor Lawrence's coming out party.
Ooh.
Give me an AFC South rematch between Jacksonville and Houston.
Very interesting. Okay. And then we have another divisional matchup, actually, Seattle and San Fran, similar to what Tahmeer had on his bracket. Who do you got in this one? Seattle being home.
I think, there's going to be a lot of coming out parties, but some of them are going to lose, some of them are going to win. Like I believe, and I know this is off topic, but I believe this is Bryce Young's coming out party. I think Bryce Young is going to come out hot. I think Bryce Young's going to do his thing, but he's going to end up losing. This is Sam Darnold's coming out party. However, I don't count out experience. I don't count out Kyle Shanahan, even though he's lost.
Brock Purdy played in the Super Bowl, guys.
We forget that. Brock Purdy he's played against Patrick Mahomes. You have Greg Jennings still. You have George Kittle still. You have Juice on blocking for CMC, might I add. You got Trent Williams coming back as well. So honestly, I don't think I do not think, because I think it's gonna be the reverse. how Seattle came into San Fran and beat San Fran. San Fran's gonna come into Seattle and
Crazy.
beat
Okay,
Seattle.
okay. All right, so the 49ers advanced to the NFC Championship. And then now we got the Bears and the Rams. Matthew Stafford would be traveling to Soldier Field.
I have been a number one Caleb Williams supporter ever since coming out of USC. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like the kid coming out of USC. Great quarterback, great personality. He's a stand-up guy. But when you got Puka Nacua, when you got Jared Verse, my lord, you got that. Oh, you got that offense. When we all saw when Devontae Adams was coming to the Los Angeles Rams, we were like, this guy's a target in the red zone. We know how Matthew Stafford's going to use him. Now, it was a slow build up till then, but we see how Devontae Smith has killed defenses and cornerbacks in the red zone. That being said, give me LA.
All right. And then we got both divisional matchups for the AFC and NFC championships. AFC side of things, we got the Jags and the Texans. NFC, we got the Rams and the Niners. What game you want to start with first?
Let's start with the NFC. So a few years back, we all remember that 2021 NFC Championship game between San Fran and the 49ers. And might I mention, I want to make something clear. There is no division leaders in the NFC in my pick'ems. There is no NFC leader. There's no divisional NFC leaders in there.
Okay.
So technically speaking, you're going to LA. And we know how the Bay travels. The Bay do be traveling. And that's why I say, give me the Rams. The Rams will be back in the Super Bowl.
Okay, so he has the same NFC representative as me. And now Jaguars, Duval versus their arch rivals, the Texans. I think Duval would be home in this scenario.
They would be home.
Who would you take in this one?
Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud have put on crazy performances throughout the playoffs. But offense wins games, defense wins championships. Give me Rams versus Texans in the Super Bowl.
In the first half, not gonna lie. So it would be CJ Stroud versus Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay versus D'Amico Ryans. Both top defenses. This would be an interesting matchup here.
I like the matchup because both defenses are good. You have good quarterbacks. You have good receivers on both sides. And might I say, Jaden Higgins has been showing up as of late. He's been
the past couple weeks, he's had a couple of touchdowns.
He's been showing up under Nico Collins, so they don't just have to rely on Nico Collins in this game. They can rely on Jaden Higgins, which is going to be key in this game. But, hey, Matthew Stafford got to get another one, but retires, right? Give me LA. Give me LA.
So me and MJ have the same Super Bowl champions. We got the Rams winning the Super Bowl. MJ, any kind of bullish or hot takes here before we end off the episode?
I want to say this.
Look at your bracket and then kind of give me if you would change anything, one thing, what would you change?
I'm not changing one thing, but I will say this. The Jaguars and the Patriots game is not going to be one-sided, but I see Jaguars winning by 2 scores.
Ooh, okay.
I see
crazy.
Them because the Patriots haven't really been tested this year. I'm not saying Drake Bay is going to be that guy in the coming future. He is going to be that guy. But how the Jacksonville Jaguars have been tested all season long through injuries, through that crazy Monday Nighter against the Kansas City Chiefs, I think the Jaguars, I think they can do it. I think they can go back to the AFC Championship, not win, but they can definitely make a run.
Yeah, no, that would be insanity to me, in my opinion. I don't know. I just think first-year head coaches could only get you so far, but we shall see what comes down. The nitty-gritty is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, guys, this is the end of our episode. We gave you guys our quick look into the NFL draft, a quick look into the NFL playoffs. Guys, let them know where they could find you.
Well, I'll start with us. So You can find us on Instagram, same thing, ITR with MJ and Mir. TikTok, ITR with MJ and Mir. You can find my homeboy, his Instagram and TikTok be tweaking, so I'll let him do that.
Yeah. You can find me on _ballhog __ on Instagram. And then on TikTok is IHY Tahmeer on TikTok. So you can find me there.
And my personal, obviously for Instagram, it's .justmj_. Simple as that, y'all. And on YouTube, and on YouTube as well. Follow us on follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube as well. Inside the Red Zone with MJ, y'all. It's right there. Yep.
And of course, guys, this has been another episode of Inside the Locker Room TV. I'm your host, B-Rod, with @NFL Playmakers with a Z. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.